Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Friday Flair, and we're going to talk about the 10 players that have started this season on fire. And we're not going to talk about the obvious ones. I'm going to tell you right now, Erling Haaland is not on this list. So if you're looking for the obvious picks, just go to SofaScore and look at your top 10 players because they're going to be there. They're going to be easy to spot without any problems. Go look at your top goal scorer, go look at your top assister, and then you're done. But if you want to hear actual talks about some players that you may not have recognized, there's really only one big name that's recognizable, and we'll get to him. He's later down on the list, number 6 on the list. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with our first one. He is the Manchester City player, but probably one of the most underrated players in Premier League history, Bernardo Silva. Starting off, 2 assists already in this league. I think he's tied for joint top at Manchester City in the assist column. He's got 3 big chances created in the league. He's also scored in the Community Shield. Phil Foden may want to be a little bit concerned, excuse me, because with the way Bernardo Silva's playing, it's going to be hard for him to find a way into the squad. Foden obviously hasn't made may have played only a handful of minutes so far for City this season, but with the way Bernardo Silva's playing, I don't see a world where Phil Foden gets back into that team without some sort of change in Bernardo Silva's form, because he has started the season on fire. City winning 3-3, leading the league in goals. I think 9 goals, 7 of which have been obviously scored by Haaland, and 2 assists coming from Bernardo Silva. I think that City running away with the league once again could be a possibility this year. I obviously want Arsenal to win it, being an Arsenal fan, but with the way Bernardo Silva's playing, it will be a challenge for Arsenal to take them on. Obviously, you've also seen Gundogan coming back into the team. You've seen a player like De Bruyne, if he stays healthy. So you've got kind of a really solid midfield options in Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Rodri, and then you've got Doku. Savinho's played on the wing. Jack Grealish is a winger. It's going to be difficult. I could see really the only place for Foden to play is on that left wing over Jack Grealish, and you put Doku or Savinho on the right. Could be your options, but obviously Doku's probably better on the left for City. Very interesting to look at going forward, but Bernardo Silva is our first player that started the season on fire. Let's move on to number 2. Our second player is from Fulham, one of 2 players from Fulham. It's going to be Andrea Pereira, who's averaged 4.7 key passes per game, which puts him at 14 key passes. Obviously, he hasn't gotten the numbers in goals and assists that maybe he wants so far or anything of that sort, but he has been very crucial in progressing the ball and putting it in dangerous positions for Fulham this season. He has been a spark as the 8, obviously with Emil Smith-Rowe playing as the 10 for Fulham. That has led for Pereira to drop a little bit deeper as an 8, and he has done fantastic there. He has been the key to that attack for Fulham, and really, if Fulham are going to have a good year, it's going to be because of the performance of Andrea Pereira. I am super excited to see what he does this season. I think he performed very well against Manchester United. He performed very well in the second match. Obviously not as good of a performance in the third game, and did end up coming off injured as well. But I do think for Fulham this season, he is going to be that key to connecting the defense from defense to attack. He is going to be that key for them. Our third player we're going to talk about is Luis Diaz. Obviously kind of a big name. I know we said we're not talking about many big names, but he is going to be one of 2 really popular players that you may see on this list, just because he's not the player that he's playing better than everyone expected to. I would say he's probably one of the most surprise performers of the season. He has really taken a step up in his career this season and really just been unreal on the wing for Liverpool this season. He's scored, I think, 3 goals, provided 1 assist, created 2 big chances, 2.3 key passes per game as well, in a very strong Liverpool team. He's making himself, unbenchable. It's looking like Diaz, Salah, and Jota's the new Firmino, Mane, and Salah. Obviously, those Salah's the one that hasn't gone anywhere. It'll be interesting to see who comes in for Salah, but in the meantime, Diaz and Jota and Salah just seems like a front 3 that Gakpo and Nunez will struggle to get into, which is really crazy to say because both Gakpo and Nunez, I believe, were signed after Diaz and Jota, so it's really interesting to see. But Liverpool, again, 3 games, 3 wins, second in the table right now, just behind Manchester City, and I think that Luis Diaz is a key component to that. And it'll be very interesting to see Can he keep this up throughout the season? Is he going to put up a team of the season level performance throughout the course of 24-25 campaign? Could Liverpool, challenge for a title if he continues to play the way he is? It'd be very exciting to see this Liverpool attack. Honestly, Liverpool's been one of the most exciting teams this season so far. Obviously, City does City things. Arsenal has been all right. It seems like they're just kind of missing one or two things to click. But this Liverpool team under a new manager has a new breath of fresh air in it, and I think it's been very enjoyable to watch. Up next, I have a Brighton player, Simon Adingra, not even a starter for Brighton, but my oh my, he is quite possibly the best bench player in the Premier League. He comes off the bench, he performs, he does unbelievable things on the wing for Brighton. It's such a wing dominant side. The way they play with their wingers is so enjoyable to watch. 1 goal and 1 assist in the Premier League this season, all off the bench. He's also started 1 match in the EFL Cup, scored in that as well. So 2 goals and an assist in all competitions. I do think that Simon Adingra will need minutes moving forward. I would have loved for him to have been the backup option for Bukayo Saka. Obviously, he's right-footed. We would prefer a left-footed right winger to back up Saka, but I wouldn't have minded having Simon Adingra as that option. Up next, and arguably one of the best left backs in the last 2 seasons in the Premier League, Anthony Robinson. Totally underrated compared to some of these top level left backs. I think he deserves a move to a big club, whether that's a big club in another country or that's a big club here in the Premier League. That's maybe a little bit of my American bias showing, but Anthony Robinson going forward, defending has just been unreal for Fulham this season. 2 assists already, 2 big chances created. Not much else to say about him. He's consistently performing. Last season, he was also, I think, named into the Premier League Team of the Season. Just continuing to be a consistent player on that Fulham side, who, now that they've named themselves a Premier League team, if they do go down, if they do struggle, I could see him being on the move. Obviously, our second Fulham player on this list, I don't see Fulham struggling to go down or anything like that. Let's be clear about that. I think Fulham will survive comfortably, but if there is any concerns, I do see Anthony Robinson getting a move to a top Premier League club, or even a team like a Crystal Palace, a West Ham, if they need help on their left back position, something like that, kind of one of your mid-table teams. I could see him making a move to one of those clubs as well. On this list now, we have Bukayo Saka, the biggest name on the list. He's contributed to a goal every match so far with 1 goal, 3 assists. Obviously, he's had 2 contributions in 1 match and then 1 contribution in 2 other matches. He's been playing fantastic. I know, he may not be the most flashy player, but again, Bukayo Saka doing Bukayo Saka things. He's on pace, obviously, to have one of his best performing seasons, and playing a lot more of a creative role. He was obviously a top-level scorer for Arsenal, but looking at him creating more chances for his teammates, he looks much better as a facilitator of the ball and a creator on that right wing than he had been previously. It looked more often than not previously that he would cut on that left foot and score. Now he's cut on that left foot. I could beat you and I could shoot. I could beat you and I could cross. I could find space elsewhere. I can pass to an overlapping Ben White. There's a lot of options on that right wing with Bukayo Saka there, and how dominant he is on the ball. Now we've got Anthony Semenyo. 2 goals and an assist. He's contributed in every match, and they're yet to lose a game at Bournemouth. So I think that he's a very strong winger. I think you can make a case for him being probably Bournemouth's best player this upcoming season. Now that Solanke is gone, obviously I've already done a video talking about every team's best player this season, or coming into this season, who was going to be the most important player for every club. I put Solanke. He's obviously moved to Spurs since I made that video. I think Semenyo could be that player now. He's shown very strong signs here at the beginning of the season. Again, Bournemouth are yet to lose a game, and he is quick, he's strong, he's technical, he's got a lot of things that you expect from a winger in the Premier League. He obviously didn't perform out of this world last season, but he was he made a case for himself to stay at Bournemouth, to be a starter, and under Iraola, again, probably another manager that just is completely underrated in my opinion in the Premier League is Iraola of Bournemouth. And I think that if Bournemouth continues to play the way they will, I could see Semenyo being a very exciting prospect, either on the left or right wing for teams moving forward. But as long as he's at Bournemouth, I see him continuing to perform this year. Again, started the season on fire. Just exciting to watch. And Sinistera coming on and making an impact as well is another exciting player. I'm looking forward to seeing more of. Hopefully he gets more starts moving forward, but Sinistera, another solid winger from Bournemouth. That'll be exciting to see what they do going forward. Semenyo also has played as a striker, I believe, in the opening game for Bournemouth. So he's very versatile as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Evan Nilsson doesn't hit the ground running, how Semenyo, I even said when they signed Evan Nilsson, I believe, that I didn't think Semenyo was the guy to back up to replace Solanke. I didn't think he was enough depth. So I said they need to sign another striker, and I may have been wrong. I hold my hands up. I was wrong. Semenyo's been fantastic. As long as he continues this form, he will 100% prove me wrong, and he may even be the starting striker halfway through this season. Now we have Noni Madueke from Chelsea, 4 goals, including 1 in the Conference League and his hat trick against Wolves. I just think he's a fantastic player. I think Chelsea are missing out if they sell him, if they don't play him, because they just brought in Jadon Sancho and Pedro Neto. You have Cole Palmer. You have, I can't even think of all the wingers they have. You have Felix, who can do a job on the wing, maybe not the right wing. And Nkunku, who could probably play as a wide player. Players like that, I just think are very, very, very just a very saturated, I guess, position would be the right word for Chelsea. I think that if they want to get the best out of him, they got to play him on that right wing. He's left-footed. And if he isn't getting the minutes he wants at Chelsea, I'd see a few teams in the Premier League making moves for Madueke. Even teams that they are competing in the top half. I could see even a team like Liverpool going in for Noni Madueke to replace Mo Salah. A left-footed right winger can take some time from January to December or January to May, kind of being an understudy to Mo Salah, and then you pitch the idea of if you develop the way we want, if you're the player that we expect, you're the right wing replacement for Mo Salah. Noni Madueke, I think, has that level of potential, and he's got that English hype, English tech, so he's probably going to be a little more expensive than you'd like. But if he's not getting minutes at Chelsea, he may force a way out. He may even go loan with an obligation to buy if he leaves Chelsea this season. And I think he should, personally. Now we've got a player that I've been hyping up all season long. If you look back and look at the video, my top performers for every team this season, I didn't even put Bukayo Saka. I put William Saliba would be the most important player for Arsenal, but I didn't put Ivan Toney. I put Brian Mbeumo, who's I put on this list, and he has started off fantastic. 3 goals this season, 4 big chances created, and he is looking more and more like the Ivan Toney replacement that I said he would be. And he may actually go and do it, and has just started the season goal scoring, assisting, creating chances, just so dynamic of a player. He's played right wing, he's played striker. He could probably do a job on the left if they ever needed him to. I don't see them playing him out of position, though, because he's been so strong in the positions he plays. And Mbeumo, another player, just fantastic, just a baller. Mbeumo has been, and maybe not the most flashy player again, but just fantastic output and just does a fantastic job. Brentford obviously not starting the season, keeping any clean sheets, but his goal scoring has done a job, a very important job, that is, keeping Brentford afloat and getting them points. And our final player we're going to talk about after we talk about 2 honorable mentions. First of all, honorable mention, Romeo Lavia, obviously not gotten the minutes, but he did look very good in his first start of the season for Chelsea. The other player I want to talk about is Morgan Rogers. Yes, he has not contributed to a goal yet this season, but when he was on the field against Arsenal, just the way he attacked, and he can drive the ball just unbelievably well with just a super strong and athletic presence. He has as many successful dribbles as Luis Diaz this season, who is on the list. The only reason Diaz has gotten on the list is because of his output. Morgan Rogers, if he had the output, he would be on the list. He would 100% be on this list over a few different players. But if he just doesn't have the output right now, but he does look extremely exciting. Romeo Lavia, again, holding midfield position, played next to Caicedo, I believe, on his debut. Looks very good. I think he should get more minutes. I think there might be an injury there as well. But with more minutes, Lavia will just continue to impress. I know Chelsea paid a lot of money for him. I would be very interested and excited to see what he does throughout this season. If he remains healthy, that is. And let's go ahead. Let's get into our final player. Our final player is, again, another player that doesn't start, but has just been unreal off the bench. John Duran for Aston Villa. 2 goals, makes him joint tops goal scorer for Aston Villa currently. Onana has the other 2 goals, but he has scored both winners off the bench in the 2 matches that Aston Villa has won. They beat Leicester 2-1. He scored the goal in the 63rd minute. Obviously, Leicester scored after to make it 2-1. But again, Duran's goal makes the difference. West Ham versus Aston Villa, he comes on late. 79th minute, he scores the winner. After being linked with a move to West Ham all summer long, he goes and scores the winner on the opening match of the season. He comes on against Arsenal. I was concerned when he came on against Arsenal. I see him as a threat as he comes on against Arsenal. And he didn't score, but my word, I was nervous when he came on the pitch. I do think if Duran gets a move to a big, big club, I think he would be just undeniably take his game to another level. I would love him at Arsenal. I think he could make the move to Chelsea with Osimhen being in Galatasaray now. It'll be difficult to get him out of there, obviously being on loan, because then they have to cancel the loan and then Chelsea buy him in January, which would be difficult. There's a few other clubs I could see him moving to. I don't see him moving to Liverpool. I could see him moving abroad as well. I think there's been a few clubs abroad interested in him and his signature. And then, of course, you still got some of your teams just below the top 6, where you have like your West Ham, who I don't see going for him. They just got Nicholas Füllkrug. But a team like Crystal Palace, if Mateta looks like he may leave back to France, things like that. But, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who's your top players, and where do you see John Duran going as well? But if you enjoyed that and you want to see more lists like that, or if you want to see breakdowns on the Breakdown, my other series that comes out every Tuesday following Premier League matches, or if you just like little silly lists like this, be sure to subscribe so you never miss another one, and I'll see you guys in the next video on Tuesday. Peace.